Friends, welcome back. It's season 76, day 3. So, probably going to be cutting back on playing here quite a bit. Might not get a video every day. Just spending a lot of time on stuff, and I realize that I can't be doing that. I have to prioritize my time on things and focus on family and God. So that being said, there might be some days where I don't get up a video, or I don't know, I'm thinking I'm cutting way back on a lot of stuff, so, and I might have to just stop altogether. But we do what is best for our families and our lives, and sometimes, the game can be a distraction from what's really important. So, and to make sure that my priorities are straight and that this isn't cutting into time I could be doing with other things. So sometimes I'll be able to play and sometimes not, and that's okay. The game shouldn't be controlling us. As far as like everything, should be fun. And so that's what I have to say about that. So here's an angel form with the split stone golems as well. This Seondiok, or this Celine, seems to crush Seondioks pretty good, so I'm going to be trying to fight just in the last half hour from now on if I can. If I can make the fights, good. If not, then cool. But just try to limit my time. Time is precious, so we are not guaranteed a lot of it, so... one stone golem. Let's see what you do with this here, buddy. Nice little meteor get rolled onto Allie there. And we're going to call it good. Oh, there was a 39. So, Harrison. Yep, as many of you know, I am a Christian, a follower of Christ, and I know sometimes I go on rages and stuff, and that's not probably the best. Most of it's for just entertainment, and not getting like super angry or stuff isn't probably a good thing to do. If you're going to get angry, just be in control of yourself and still continue to do what's right no matter what. So that has a lot to do with my decisions here and how I spend my time. So there's a lot of stuff that's important in this world, or actually a lot of stuff that isn't. People and their relationships with their creator. And I know this isn't going to sit well with a lot of people, but it's just the way it is, Some people will stop watching the videos just because of my stance on what I believe, and that's fine. I wish that all would turn to God, do what's right, But the reality is very few are actually going to do that and be serious about it. So, a little bit different. Than I am normally on here. But I like, I get a little worked up about certain forms and people losing, but I just want you guys to know that I'm never attacking people personally or, calling them out or anything like that. It's all in good fun and having a, just getting a little competitive or whatever, but I'm not saying people are cheating. Their forms, some forms seem a lot stronger than others, and maybe that's just the way it is. Like this one, so I got the heels of Siondiok, but somehow he just managed to run over me anyways, so it's kind of funny. Normally this one does pretty good. We'll give it another go, see if we can't kill his Davidson a little faster than that last time. Okay, Davidson down. We do have Siondiok to heal, which generally would have made the difference there. You'd think if your guys are getting healed and the other guys aren't, that you would get the win. But sometimes this one, not always effective, and that's just some RNG there, I think. That's all right. I just got to kind of cruise here and go pretty quick. Celine. I'm just going to use the killer Celine form on it. Hopefully this is the correct one to take out an angel. We'll find out, I guess. Looks like it's doing okay. I got a lot of cannons left, so that should be the end of it. So, yeah, I mean, as people, we only have so much time, How much time do we have left? We don't even know. And then what happens? Well, a lot of people will say, well, you just die and nothing happens, but that's not my belief. My belief is that we will face our Creator and give an account for what we have done in this life. So the righteous go on into paradise and be with God, and those that are, just did their own thing, did what they wanted to do, it doesn't turn out good. Just like it's not turning out good for us right here against this guy. And Mo kills us, looks like. Pretty handily there, good job, good form there. Not real happy that I was able to take out my form. Feel like that shouldn't have happened. But anyway, so I expect my videos probably not to get hardly any views now. Just for my stance, my beliefs are not really popular. But regardless of the popularity of beliefs, and a lot of people are like, don't be preaching to us, we don't want to hear that or whatever, but if that is what I believe, if that is the case, then we have a Creator that we have to deal with, that we have to be accountable to. Then everything in this life matters, and I think it's deception for people to think that there's nothing. I think those people are deceived. So yeah, I fully expect to have a lot of you not check out my videos anymore, but it is what it is. I can't please everybody. Oh, that was dumb. I just went with Davison there. I meant to switch to Celine, but I hit start instead. So it looks like we might be all right anyways. So that's that, guys. That's a little update on what's going on. Yeah, it's important. Life and things, and can we redeem the time? All right. Boom. Hit his peltas. That's too bad. So, I don't know. I might just a commentary on here. Really? All right, how about a nice swoop on those those, there we go. That's more like it. I thought I was like down by like 300, and watch Celine just take out all my guys with a shot here. Yeah, it looks like we're going to do a little comeback and take this one out. So it's a good form there. I was down by like 200. And I know how frustrating that is as a Celine user to just see all your troops start just getting murdered. So, yep. Yeah, how we use our time and the time we've been given, it's important, I think. So, I'm not saying there's no time for, some other leisurely activities, but it's like, what is our life? And are we just here for whatever and then that's it, or is there more to this? Is there actually a point to being here? So that's my belief, that there is definitely a point. And there's much more than just this life. So, but I cannot convince you. People believe what they want to believe, regardless of different things. I mean, the Bible talks about even if people rose from the dead, then people wouldn't believe them. So that's pretty telling. Yeah, people rising from the dead, and people are like, nah, I don't believe it. Which is literally what happened with the person of Jesus Christ. So if you look into that, I mean, there's no real denying it. So, people are comfortable in how they're raised. They don't want to be answerable to anyone for what they do. They want to do their own thing, which is kind of a deception too. People are, you're either going to follow God or you're going to follow Satan. So those are the only two choices, and people think that they have, no, I'm just going to do my own thing. Well, by doing your own thing, you're actually just falling into a trap of doing what Satan wants you to do. Do as thou wilt. That's what's the satanic Bible. That's their whole philosophy. And if you go along with evolution and things like that, that's a natural. That's just the way it is. If evolution is correct, then there's no creator, there's no one to be responsible to, there's no morals, there's no absolutes, there's nothing. You're just random chemical brain functions that just happen together in a puddle of cells that came together by accident. And you're nothing special. You don't even know if what you're saying makes any sense, because you could be a brain in a vat. You don't know anything. So that's literally some people's positions. Like, the only thing I know is that I don't know anything. It's like, how do you know that? Oh, I don't know. I don't know, I guess. It's not a realistic worldview. But I'm not here to talk really about worldviews and stuff, because you can argue about that all day long. People, generally how people are raised and brought up to believe is what they believe, regardless of evidence, regardless of anything else. So just breaking out of just having a willingness to look into other things, and maybe that possibly you've been wrong your whole life, just to be able to be honest with yourself about that. You know, if we should all have the attitude, if I'm wrong, I want to know. I want to know what's right, what's true. And that's with anything. I grew up in a religion, and that's just, you know, you don't question anything, you just believe it, you know. And that's not really a good way to go about stuff, you know. You gotta question, you gotta know what you're believing. Is that the truth, or are you just believing blindly for no reason at all? You put yourself in a bad situation, you know, where you're just falling for whatever. Just, hey, that's how I was raised, so that's how I'm going to believe it. And a lot of religions, you know, they'll excommunicate you for even questioning anything. You can't question what you're being taught. You can't question the prophet. You can't question the teacher or whatever. So what is that? What are they trying to hide if you can't question anything? Same thing with you can't question the science. So how many times has the science been wrong? This is the way it is. Oh, do they know? What do they really know? Can they prove anything? They have all kinds of stuff. That's our working theory, and that's what we're going to go with. So, but you can't question it. Don't you dare question it. How dare you question the authorities? The science has spoken, you know. Well, this one could be close. If Celine will polish off those Pell tests, we got this. Come on, Celine. Maybe. Oh, no way. That was the smallest stun radius I've ever seen. Oh boy, now they're coming for you, Celine. Can Celine handle these guys? Should be able to. Put the hurt on them with that Pell test. So that's just kind of my thoughts, and that's kind of how I can see, you know, if I talk to you guys about stuff that seems to matter, or different topics, you know, maybe if you want me to talk about something in the comments, let me know, you know. I mean, maybe you have questions about something, and maybe you have a different view on things, and I can discuss that, sure. So I fully expect for my views to drop down to nearly almost nothing. It's simple. If you question people's views or anything, they don't want to hear it. They want to shut it up. So that's fine. You know, I'm open. I'm pretty much open to listening to anything, like discussing about things, because if I'm wrong, I want to know. For sure, I don't want to be walking in blindness, you know, blindly walking around and not knowing anything, you know, just following something because that's what everyone else follows, or because that's what the majority says, or that's what this smart person says, or, you know, those are all not good reasons. Truth is truth, no matter how many people believe opposite. And how many times has the majority been wrong? How many times have the experts, so-called experts, been wrong? How many times is just the science used as some kind of a club to beat people down? Science says this. You ever watch any debates with evolutionists or anybody like that, and they're like, well, we know this, and we know that, and we know that this is this, and who's this we? It's just quoting like there's this giant consensus of everything behind it, like we know everything. Okay, there's a lot of clout behind that. Seems like people don't want to question it, or if someone knows a lot of big words or something and can throw things out there, make something sound super complicated. Oh, what do you know about quantum quarks? Oh, you don't know anything about that? Trying to belittle someone. I see it's just so many ad hominem attacks on people, and it's just like, so if you disagree with somebody, you just put them down and make fun of them. That doesn't make sense. Like, why would you do that? If you're open-minded and willing to learn, to come to an understanding, to know the truth, then why would you attack someone and make fun of them? I watched a couple Professor Dave like flat Earth videos and some debates and stuff, and I don't have a particular stance on that yet, but I seem to be leaning towards the Earth actually not being a globe as they tell us, because it seems like even the majority of things that they tell us is mostly incorrect, it seems like. So why the deception? But anyways, be that whatever, flat or round, this Professor Dave guy just comes across as like super abrasive and arrogant and just belittling people, and putting them down. So I mean, if you're really trying to come to the truth, even if he's basically in a position where his stance cannot be questioned. There's no possibility ever that he could be wrong about anything. So if that is your stance, and how could you ever like learn anything? How you just automatically, whatever argument the other person's bringing is, you just automatically discount as like, that's foolishness. All right, well, I mean, I believe it's the Proverbs that says the first argument sounds right until you hear the other side, right? So if you got one guy, he comes out with his argument or his ideal. If you ever listen to a debate, man, that first guy's super convincing, and it sounds good until the other guy comes up and like refutes everything or whatever. But if you never open yourself up to that refutation or allow it to give any credence to it at all, it's where are you going? Are you just closed-minded, unwilling to listen, unwilling to possibly be wrong, unwilling to be taught? My goodness. So this one's going to beat me, right? Yeah, I should have gone with the regular split killer, but that one, like, literally crushes everything all the time. I don't know why that one lost. I'm going to chalk it up to RNG. So, yeah, if you guys want me to talk about anything, just kind of monologue about whatever, I'm down for it, It's kind of fun. All three of you that are left watching this video, everyone else is like, oh, this guy's a religious flat earth fanatic, I'm out of here. So, yeah. It's kind of like the world we're in right now, just shout down people that don't agree with you, and you can talk all day about certain things, and you could show all kinds of proofs, but I think a lot of it's just wasted if that person isn't willing to even try to understand. You're literally like beating your head against a wall for what? A lot of arguments and a lot of cred. Good for him there, Papa Greg. And that's what it comes down to, is just, am I going to win this one? No. Okay, what went wrong? How about we try this little action here? Probably shouldn't use a Celine on Davison. Probably not the best move there. Oh, but it looks like we're gonna beat the crud out of him if he's gonna die. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, guys. So I realize that's not the popular opinion, and as the world goes, probably get blacklisted and ghosted and shadow banned and all kinds of stuff for taking a particular stance that the powers that be that don't like, But that is the reality. That's the world we live in. Is, according to the scriptures, the whole world lies in the power of the evil one, and people are like Satan's greatest deception, or one of his deceptions, is like to get people to don't believe that he exists, So we have an enemy out there, and he wants to destroy you. That's what you're up against. Like, yeah, whatever. You're dumb, dude. You don't know what you're talking about, Okay. Open your eyes and look around. You can't tell me that everything from social media to movies to music to Hollywood to big tech, all these things, big pharmacy, all these things, it seems like they all have just like one agenda, this global warming, we need to reduce the population, vaccines, all this stuff, there's a lot of, it seems like it's all coordinated. And they're like, oh, here we go, conspiracy theory stuff. So just labeling something conspiracy theory doesn't discount, doesn't just automatically void everyone else's contention or what they're talking about, It's easy to just, conspiracy theory, write it off. Okay, so for example, flat earth, conspiracy theory, I'm not going to listen to that. It's been proven 2,000 years now that the earth is a globe, even though the evidence for it doesn't really prove anything. It proves basically what the flat earth model would be how it would be if there was just a flat earth also. So I mean, they quote this thing about Isosthenes and the light going down to some wells or something like that from like 4,000 years ago. I don't know, and we have photos from space, which some are quite laughable at best. So just all these, we're spinning around everything. But regardless of whatever, people aren't willing to look at it, and they just mock other people that have a different point of view or perspective on it, even though when you actually look into it, the evidence for a spinning globe model isn't really attainable. There's so there's no really demonstrable evidence for the fact. We don't see the curve. There's no curve as at the measurements it says there is. Everything has a line of sight, perspective, all that. But it's interesting. It's interesting to look at. And like I said, I haven't fully committed to either position, but both of them, I'm leaning towards one, since the other camp seems to be so hostile. Then that's not a good reason to believe or anything, the hostility of one camp, and they're holding on to a certain view, but it's just kind of interesting. So Oh, I have one fight left, I guess. So that's that. There's a whole bunch of things we could talk about, and we could, it's just kind of interesting. But I just didn't want to, waste my time on stuff. And if it helps anybody, one person, or if I can come to different truth, the knowledge of the truth through things, through talking and observing, then cool. So yeah, if you guys have anything you want me to kind of monologue about or look into and talk about, let me know in the comments, so that way it's just not like, hey. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, this guy's gone off the deep end, whatever. But yeah, so all right, guys, that's gonna wrap this one up. Once again, we can get 8K video from Mars, but yeah, maybe we'll get into that in another video. It just seems silly to think that that could be a possibility, and yet here on Earth, 2 miles away from a cell tower, I can't get service, so consistently. All right, well, that's it, my friend. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.